Hey everybody, it's the Sacred Genie. I was just in the mirror, just admiring myself and just touching on myself. I think I was actually watching porn. Not my own, but someone else's porn. I think that's what I was doing. And I was just thinking, like, men really have, or in our lineage, we've been told to be seen and not heard. You know, sex is for the men. Well, hello. It's the Sacred Genie. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day you are watching this video. No matter what time of day, I am so appreciative of you clicking, of you joining, subscribing, because I know that you are going to if you are not already, right? You're going to like it. You're also going to share. Oh, I'm getting into my dominance bag a little bit today. So you're going to share. You're going to do all of those things because you want to. Not even just because I said so, but... And you do follow great directions, right? Right? Okay, yes. But thank you so much for joining my channel. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Y'all know that I go on my little breaks, I gotta get away from here. I'm not the social media girl. I'm not the content creator. I've been really like doing all my behind the scenes things, like with classes and with just dealing with life. And I'm not even gonna get into all of that. You probably you're not here for that. You're here for what the name of the video is, right? So we are going to talk about dopamine release. And it's very, very important that I do talk about this because it does correlate with the sacral chakra deeply, because what dopamine is, it's like a happy hormone, right? So like whenever we receive pleasure of any sort, not even just sexually, but just any type of pleasure, we release a hormone chemical, what's called dopamine. And I just kind of want to like get into challenging you to just think about, like, what am I doing that is not allowing me to release the dopamine? Am I doing everything that I can in order to receive pleasure in my life? If I'm not, what can I change up? You feel me? So I really wanted to talk about that. And we all know with the sacral chakra, what is that, aligned with? It's aligned with your pleasure, right? Not only your pleasure, we know that it's creativity, your sex, drive, and everything like that. But when it comes solely for the purpose of this episode, we're going to talk about how to receive pleasure in your life, what things can trigger pleasure, what things can also aid in, like not receiving pleasure, right? And we don't want to do anything that is not pleasurable to us, right? I talk a lot about mirror work, and just doing the most subtle things in the mirror can really trigger you to get your sexy on. Like right now, like I'm doing this video, I have it on, like the front camera, so that way I can see myself. So that's pretty much playing as my mirror. I also I'm sitting this phone at my vanity, so I can also see my mirror behind that. So I'm checking both, so I can see myself in different angles. I also have a mirror over here where I can see, well, I can't see, it's a little further back, but if I were to be back a little bit more, I can see myself in another angle, right? Then I have mirrors all over my house. So I love to look at myself. I think that I am the most gorgeous thing in this home. Not to say like, like to compare myself to others, but I really think that I am fucking delicious. Like, I want to devour me. I will later, actually. But well, I can't eat my own pussy, that's the only problem, but I will please myself in other ways, right? So with that being said, like with having different mirrors all over the place, what that does is that forces me to look at myself, and that forces me to look at myself in different angles, right? Like I'm able to appreciate how my ass sits. I'm able to appreciate, oh, my titties look different from this side. A little side boob action. Okay, that was a little sexy. I'm able to look at my face and different features and things from different mirrors, from different standpoints. When I take selfies, nudes, just pictures in general, I try to always get different angles. So like I have two tripods, like one that my camera's sitting on right now that's like a little tabletop one, and then I have an actual standalone tripod that I use where I can adjust the stand. And so I like to make sure that I get the different angles, the different sides, the different angles and things like that. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting all of those sides. You know, when you take pictures and you take selfies and stuff like that, you always ask your friends, like, hey, can you get my angles? Your friends should know your angles. If they don't know your angles, you get you some new friends, because every friend know their friend angle. Were they good or bad, though? You want to get a picture in all angles, because you never know what might change. You might actually like this other angle that you didn't like before, or whatever. You might notice something else sexy about that angle. Like, you might say, like, I may not have liked my face right here, whatever I was doing, but my cheekbones are kind of nice. You feel me? Like, it can be anything. My shoulders are a little bit more broad right here, you know? So all that kind of stuff. So you definitely want to do some mirror work in that way. And then also just look and stare at yourself in the mirror, and just, now you can eye gaze with yourself. That's, for one, a great way I discovered to start learning how to make eye contact with your partner and stuff like that. When you just make eye contact with yourself, get rid of that awkward feeling of just, I don't know, like, I know, like, I used to, me personally, I didn't like to do eye contact because it was just awkward. It was like, we're not making love, especially if I wasn't like in love with the person. It was like very awkward to me, or I would just shy away. Like, I have a shy personality, to be honest. Like, even though I am very confident, I can be a little bit timid too. But yeah, start doing some eye contact in the mirror with yourself, and then just start lowering your eye gaze. Like, start noticing different things. Like, my lips look very full. I love how they look. And with my lips, I have like a natural outline. I added a little liner tonight, but you know, I got a natural little outline, so I like to look at that. And I got a beautiful smile. I like my laugh. I like my ears. I like my neck. I love my skin. I love how it glistens when I get out of the shower and I put on my scrub. Oh my gosh, and it smells so good. So when I put them on, my skin just screams luxury. Like, look at it. Look at my skin, y'all. I mean, y'all see the titties just popping right now, but I mean, you can look at them. Shit, they there, right? But seriously though, my skin is amazing. Like, oh my gosh, like, it's just glossing. Like, it's so soft, so smooth. I get so many compliments on my skin alone. Like, my partners love my skin, I'm just saying. But seriously, like, just start admiring yourself from head to toe. And when you do that, that gives you more of a better appreciation of what you have, right? So, and it's unique to you. That is bomb. That's such a blessing to say, like, I don't look like everybody else. I look like me. I look like me. Like, this is really how I was supposed to look. And I would rather look like this than anybody else. And that's no shade to anyone, but I like how I look. You feel me? And that's fine. You can say that. You can say I look beautiful. Talk to yourself in the mirror as well. Like, you can just say, you can tell yourself that you're beautiful. You can just tell yourself about your day. Just say, I know that today was rough, but you still are a goddess. You still are a queen. You're still beautiful. the way that you handled such and such today was just magnificent. Like, literally boost your self-confidence. That is a dopamine release. When you start talking good to yourself, that's words of affirmation, honey. Receiving compliments should and that'll teach you how to accept compliments, because you're not supposed to reply to yourself, right? When you're talking to yourself, it's okay to talk to yourself as long as you're not replying, right? So you're forced to, like, technically accept your compliments, because you can't talk back. You better not say nothing bad. Nah, but for real, so definitely mirror work is a wonderful way to release your dopamine levels, or to release dopamine to increase your dopamine levels. You also want to look at yourself as far as, like, your vagina. When is the last time that you gazed at your vagina? When's the last time that you, like, poked around there and seen what she looks like and talk to her? I like to talk to my vagina. I like to tell her good job, first of all. No, but I love to just feel her out, even in a non-sexual way, because, like, our vaginas aren't only used for sex. Don't you start using your vagina like she's only that girl when it comes to sexual pleasure. You not using don't use her. Nah, but definitely spend more time with her and talk to her and get to know her a little bit more. Like, she changes just like the rest of your body changes. Things change, and the more that you talk to her and keep in communication with her, the more that you'll understand her and be updated on what's going on, right? Our vaginas do change, and that's perfectly fine. They're still beautiful regardless. How much water are you consuming? Now I'm starting to get a little bit into the health side of things, but literally, when you are so thirsty and you take that, when you wake up in the morning, especially, you take that first sip of water, that is a dopamine increase to me. Like, literally, I get pleasure because I'm finally satisfying. I'm quenching my thirst. Like, that is definitely something that makes me feel happy in the mornings. I'm not going to say that it necessarily makes me feel horny, but it definitely makes me feel good. And that's what we're going for. We're going for pleasing our bodies in any way possible. It doesn't have to be what we perceive it to be. Like, it doesn't have to be like what everybody says that pleasure is for you. Pleasure can come in the smallest, simplest forms. And drinking some fucking water is pleasure. Trust me, when you hit the blunt and your throat is dry and you get that first sip of water, pleasure. Say it with me. Pleasure, okay? Also, daily activity, getting physical, getting just that physical activity. Your body thanks you because it wants to move around. I mean, we feel lazy sometimes, but our body really does want to get up and move around. So when we do that, whenever we, get healthier and stuff like that, that is definitely a dopamine increase. Also, yoga. Now that I do. I love me some yoga. I do it before bed, or I'll do it in the morning, or I'll do it both times. Do it before sex. Definitely before sex. Oh my gosh, just to open up those hip flexors and just to really get comfortable and relaxed and allow my body to just so naturally roll and be in complete control. Oh, and do it outside. Now that the weather is finally warming up for us, I'll be on my deck if I could be 24/7, but I do be out there as much as I can. And I do my yoga outside because it feels good. Our bodies naturally want to be around nature. It wants to be around water. Sacral chakra, hello. Water is definitely something that helps us and encourages us to do flow and to just, I don't know, I get horny around water. I get horny around nature in general, but it definitely is something about being in that fresh, crisp air and just releasing and just taking in all of that dopamine increase, okay? So I just want y'all to remember that. Go ahead and take a walk out on the trail. Why not take a walk out on the trail and just observe nature? I whenever I go on trails, I really hate to take my dog because I have to watch her. I have to make sure that she's not trying to attack, or not attack, but trying to go and bark at other dogs or anything like that. It's such a mess. But when I go by myself, I really am able to enjoy the whole experience. Like, I'm able to look at the trees. I love looking at the moss on the trees, feeling it, touching the waterfalls and all that kind of stuff, and just being one with it, just meditating. I love the smell of nature. I just love it all, and it really, 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 really does make me horny. It really is able to do that for you and to make you feel happy. You feel in a natural state. You feel free. You feel like you're able to. If I could, I would be nude out on them trails. Like, seriously, like, I wish I could go into a jungle and not worry about ever being attacked or anything like that. Just be one with nature. Just all that shit. That's how we were meant to be. That's how we were meant to live. I'm very convinced. Getting a massage and relaxing your muscles and allowing another human to relax you. Like, it can be a professional massage. If you can get them monthly, I suggest it. I need to get them monthly, but definitely have your partner do it. Y'all can even take some classes so that way y'all can get deeper into the shit. But seriously, a massage is a great dopamine increase. Like, oh my gosh, your body is thanking you. Your body is finally feeling relaxed from the day, from the week, from the month, whenever the last time that you got a massage. So you definitely want to incorporate that if you can. Sex, obviously. Sex, that brings joy, that brings pleasure, right? So whenever we have sex, we are releasing, especially if you're able to have an orgasm in that session. Because remember, good sex doesn't always mean that it had to end in an orgasm. That's just a cherry on top if you happen to do so. But that's not the goal. So releasing an orgasm itself is a dopamine increase. Just engaging in pleasure and having someone, or just by yourself, a masturbation session, just really allowing your body to feel and to be present and to stimulate those different senses, those different sensations in your body is such a great dopamine increase. Like, oh my gosh. So I did look up some foods. So in particular, you want to incorporate more proteins. Proteins is a huge thing that I saw that increases your dopamine. So I do not eat meats, but you can. For me, even if I did eat meat, I tried to incorporate other types of proteins that weren't only meat, because meat has a tendency to make you feel heavy and tired, and you want to go straight to sleep, which is another dopamine increase. We'll get into that in a second. But if you are trying to do your daily due diligence, do whatever you need to do throughout the day, you don't have time to take a nap. You don't have time to be sluggish. So nuts, seeds, things like that, different vegetables have different proteins in them as well. Getting your smoothies in and incorporating protein powders if you want to do it that route. Anything else that'll help you still have that boost of energy can definitely help. But proteins is the way to go. So I did see somewhere where strawberries, and that's probably why strawberries are known, one of the reasons why they're most known for being one of the sexiest foods to eat during sex, right? But it's said to increase your dopamine levels, maybe because of its texture, the light grainy, seedy texture is kind of sexy on the tongue. Also, the color red is associated with a lot of romanticism and sex. Like, it's very erotic, right? I love red. Chocolate associated to me with strawberries. That made me think of that shit right off the bat. Music and meditation, things that just take you there. Oh my gosh, just being able to hear a good song that you can relate to, that makes you feel happy music in particular, but things that can relate to your body, to your feelings and stuff like that, that is a great dopamine release. Just being able to release those feelings, and to hear it, you know, can help that. Meditation, just getting into and connecting with your highest self is a great dopamine increase as well. Nostalgic like activities like coloring. I told y'all like I recently got a coloring book. Well, this was like for Christmas from my best friend, and that was like one of my favorite gifts that I've ever received, because I'm like, I don't color. I do not color, and I forgot how coloring used to make me feel as a kid. It brought back those childlike feelings and memories and stuff like that, and it was just really dope to just take away from being an adult for just a couple of minutes, an hour, whatever I wanted, however many pages I wanted to color. But yes, coloring is just, that is a perfect way. Just any type of nostalgic activities, things that make you, that bring back that energy of adolescence, or it doesn't have to be adolescence, just memories, engaging in things that made you feel good at one point. Maybe you're going on a vacation, that way you remember you're going to a destination where it brought back great memories and you want to feel that again. Getting adequate sleep is so important, and I'm not getting it lately. It's a lot of things going on with me, but I'm gonna get it together. But definitely getting some good sleep that will increase your energy, obviously, and it'll make you happy, your body, your mood. Everything is affected by your dopamine levels, and sleep is a huge part of that. And I hate the grind culture. I really do, where we feel like we have to work all fucking day and maybe get 3 hours of sleep. That's not how life works. Your body is not able to function like that. Your mood is probably shitty too. Shitty to other people, shitty to yourself, all that shit. So you really lay. It's okay. Lay. You really want to pay attention to your sleep levels, and also just your body. Physically, that's taking a toll on you. You're not getting the right proper rest. So you're not able to be as productive as you are wanting to be. You're not able to show up fully. So yeah, get you some good sleep. So wearing lingerie just because, like, moi, I love wearing lingerie around the house. Like, I feel so sexy, and like I said, I look in the mirror, just catch some different angles of myself, and I'm like, oh, you are so sexy, Dre.
I'm too sexy for this girl, too sexy for your girl, too sexy for this world, too sexy for this.
You are so sexy, Dre. Like, oh my gosh, so fucking fine. But wearing lingerie just because will make you feel sexy. Like, you don't have to wear it for somebody. Don't quit buying the lingerie and thinking you have to save it. You better wear that for yourself. You better get sexy for your fucking self. I'm just saying, like, why would you not want to wear it for yourself? I like looking at myself. I do. That's not even a conceited thing, but even if it was, so what? I look good. But yeah, wearing lingerie just because, buying yourself some flowers, like, when the last time you bought yourself some flowers? When the last time you received flowers at all? Why not get them yourself? I've recently bought me some more flowers. Y'all seen me post a TikTok a few weeks ago, a month ago, whatever. I bought flowers then too, and I did a goddess bath with those flowers. Like, I made a beautiful bath and made me feel so good. I felt so much pleasure from that. I felt so relaxed. I felt like I was just pampering myself like the queen that I am. So yeah, hello, we're doing things differently this year. We are definitely engaging in more self-pleasure and doing things for ourselves because we deserve it. Not because we're waiting on someone else to do it for us, but why wait for somebody to do it for you when you can do it for you? You can show yourself that much love. You need to show yourself that much love. Even if you are with a partner, you can't neglect self-love. You cannot neglect yourself. So things to stay away from. One thing that I wanted to definitely jump on here and say is, I already talked about heavy foods, processed foods, obviously. Those things are definitely mood killers. Also, massive amounts of unnatural or processed sugars definitely is not going to, no. It's actually going to make your body feel worse. And I think that all of us know that. Like, a lot of us say that we need to stay away from, the sweets and stuff like that. I mean, it's cool to indulge here and there, but if you can help it, try to use sweeteners, honeys, things that are just really, I'm trying to get away from sweeteners too. I want to use things that are more natural, so agave and stuff like that. Like, try to use things that are going to actually aid health-wise, but still give you that sweetness, give you that good taste. They're out there. Just do your research, see what works for you. Something to also avoid is like your posture. And I have been yoga helps out with that. That's why I love yoga, because it keeps me in check. Like, sometimes I find myself slouching or something like that. And then I'm like, oh, that's not comfortable. When I'm in yoga, like, I'll do like a small slouch pose, but it's like I'm doing a whine pose. So whenever I start slouching, I naturally start whining back, just so that way I can, like, get back into, it's like I'm checking myself. Like, you gotta still keep a straight posture.
One of the biggest things about pelvic floor dysfunction is that we have to get to the bottom of why the dysfunction is happening. Like, I just saw a patient who she is having a lot of restriction in her pelvic floor muscles. And so one of the biggest reasons for a restricted pelvic floor is really poor posture. And so this is the major type of postural deficit that I see, is the tucked under butt, and that is standing like this. And you don't even realize it. You might be someone who walks like this, but you're so used to it that you don't even notice that your pelvis is really tucked under. That's going to freeze your pelvic floor, tighten it, and restrict it. So in standing, act like you have a tailbone and you want to untuck your tailbone. You do have a tailbone. So untuck it, not too much, because that's not right either. About that neutral place. And then the same thing for sitting. You want to be sitting on your sit bones and not on your tailbone. Okay? That's what's going to tighten and restrict your vag and make your vagina angry. When you're sitting, make sure it's untucked. So you're sitting on your sit bones.
And that is the proper way to sit, because you're keeping in mind of your pelvic floor muscles and stuff like that. And it's a little bit more relaxing too. At first it's weird because it feels weird because it's unnatural to your body. You're used to slouching and stuff. But the more you practice it, the more you get accommodated to it. Or acclimated to it. So just practice on that. But so those are definitely some of my suggestions on how to increase your dopamine levels. I hope that has helped. I hope that you meditate daily. If you can, get that time in for yourself. Make time for yourself. I know that life can get hectic. I know, like, especially people with kids, people with many jobs, entrepreneurs, things happen, and I get that, but you cannot neglect self-care. If you have to sacrifice something, anything, get that self-care in. And I don't mean only the superficial. Let me get my nails done. That is part of it, but do things that also help feed your brain and help you to relax. And just even the simple things that I mentioned, like fixing your posture and stuff like that helps out with your back problems and stuff. So just make sure that you get them in, and I hope that you do subscribe. You will subscribe. We already talked about this. All right, bye.